Hello everyone, I welcome you all for this meetup session. This is Faizan and I'm having around 3 plus years of experience in IT and that is totally into MuleSoft and currently I'm working as an integration developer in Millennium India Private Limited and I'm a MuleSoft certified developer and an active member of MuleSoft community. So that's all about me. Over to you, Akif.
Yeah. Thanks, Faizan, for your time and accepting the invite and giving this demonstration on this very interesting topics. It is very useful if people start implementing it. So I will read the safe harbor statement first. So both the speaker and the host are organizing this meetup in individual capacity only, and we are not representing our companies here. And this presentation is strictly for a learning purpose, and the presenter or the speaker do not hold any responsibility that the same solution will work for your business requirement, and this presentation is not meant for any kind of promotional activities. So some quick housekeepings. So as we have already discussed, the recording of the meetup will be uploaded to the event page, and questions can be submitted and asked at any time in the chat. So uh, I will ping your ask your question in the chat. I will try to include it, and at the end we will give mic access to everyone. So we'll make it more interactive. And we are waiting for your feedback. So once the meetup is done, you will be receiving an email from the meetup team. So please submit that feedback. It is very essential for us to upgrade our learning and the training material that we pass on here. Okay. So today's agenda. So Fazan, I will stop sharing and you can start share and we can get going.
Sure, Akif.
Okay. Okay. Rutuja is there. Rutuja, please.
Hey, hi, Abhi.
Yeah.
Hi,
Rutuja.
Faizan. Hi,
Yeah,
Abhi.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
hello.
Rutuja, you can
Hi, Rajvi.
introduce yourself. You missed that part in the introduction session.
Yeah, so hi, everyone. I have around 4.5 years of experience working into the IT industry and around 3.5 years of experience working into the MuleSoft. Associate currently at PwC. Yeah, and I have an experience into the different domains like finance, products, retails, and life science. So this is all about me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Faizan, you can start.
Yeah, sure, Akif. So this is our agenda for today's session. So first we will learn how we can Telegram, and for the demonstration purpose, I'll be using the Telegram desktop application, and there I will show you how we can create and manage bot in Telegram. And then in Anybody Studio, using the Telegram connector, we will be performing list of operations like get updates, send message, how we can update message, and how we can even delete a message that is there in a Telegram chat group. And then we will learn how we can implement a Telegram chatbot, and then we will be having Q&A session, and finally we will be having a meetup quiz. So here is a high level overview of steps what we are going to follow in order to achieve a successful automation using Telegram bot API. So first thing is we need to have a Telegram account, and through that account we will be interacting with the bot father, and bot father will help us in creating our own bot, and it will also provide us a bot token, which is like a password for that bot. And then we will be creating a mule application using Telegram connector. We will be performing number of operations that are available with the Telegram connector, and once we complete our mule application, we will be testing it using Postman tool. So this is all about the high level overview of the steps. And let's see first what are bots and bot father. So specific to Telegram bots, these are the third party applications that run inside Telegram. Users can interact with bots by sending them messages, commands, and inline requests. So we can control our bots using the HTTPS request to Telegram's bot API. And next is bot father. So bot father is basically a one bot to rule them all. It will help us to create new bots, and we can change settings for the existing bots. Let's see what are the commands available for the bot father. So here are the list of commands. So first command is new bot. So this command we can give to bot father if we want to create a new bot. And my bots command will return us a list of bots with handy controls through which we can edit their settings. And we have some commands like set name, set description, set user pick. So as the name suggests, we can set these details to our own bot. And we are having a command as delete bot. So it will delete your bot and free its username. And we are having a command as set privacy. So this is very important command. uh, it allows to set which messages your bot will receive when we add it in a group. With privacy mode disabled, the bot will be receiving all the messages, or else if the mode is enabled, it will receive only those messages which is started with a forward slash. So let us now see how we can create and manage bot in Telegram. So let me quickly open the Telegram desktop application. So once you come over to this Telegram application, you need to search for the bot father, and we need to select this very first one, because this blue tick indicates that this is the genuine one. And we can request this bot father by giving commands like if you put a forward slash here, you can see the list of commands that are available here. So we are going to select this one, new bot, which will create a new bot. Okay, so now it is saying that okay, you want a new bot, please choose a name for your bot. Let us name it as Lucknow Meetup bot. Okay, so the name can be anything, and it's need not to be unique. But now it is asking for a username of our bot. So this username has two conditions. First is it should be a unique username. So it will reject if the username is already exist. And the second thing, which is very important, it must end with a substring bot. So for example, we can give name as Tetris bot or Tetris underscore bot. So let me give a name like Mule Mule 007 bot. So it is saying okay, done, congratulations on your new bot, and it has provided us an access token, which is very uh, important to store it safely, because anyone who has this access token can control our bot. So once we create any bot, and especially if it is for any business purpose, you should keep it very secure. Okay, and now let us see what are the details we can add to our bot. So my bot will ask me to choose one of my bots. So currently we have only one bot, so I'll be selecting that. Now we have a number of operations we can see. So I'll go with edit bot. Now it is saying that you have given the name, but the description, about, and bot pick and even commands are missing. So let me quickly add a description for our bot. Okay, so our description got added. Now let us see what else we can add. So let me quickly add a bot pick here. Okay, so it is asking me to upload a new profile photo for the bot. So let me select this one. Okay, so it is saying profile photo updated. So now if we see the details, we have a bot pic as well as name and description. So now let us create a new group in Telegram where we will be adding this bot so that it can receive all the messages that is being sent over there. So let us create a new group. Let me name it as Lucknow Meetup group. And if you want to add your bot to the group, you should start searching the name with @ symbol. And we know the username of our bot. It's Mule007 bot. Sorry, it was Mule. Okay, so we can see this one we need to add. Let us create a group. Okay, so now we can see we have created a group and it has the uh, member as our own bot. But you can see here there is a message saying it has no access to the messages. It is so because we have not disabled the privacy setting for this bot. So let me go back to the bot further and request it to set the privacy as disabled. This way it will have the access to all the messages. So it is saying currently it is enabled, and if you want to disable it, you can disable it by giving the disabled command. See, now success is see the message is success and the new status is disabled. Now if we go back to the group again and if we make a refresh here, so we can see now the message is saying it has access to messages. Okay, now let me add some message here like hi hello. Okay, so we are done with our first part, like how we can create and manage our bot in Telegram. So these are the steps that we have followed. So if anyone has any questions related to this first part, he or she can ask me, and then we will be moving to our next topic.
So we have no questions till Faizan. So if anyone has any question, please ping in the chat. So we will try to keep it, and at the end we will give mic access to everyone.
Okay, then I'll continue.
Yeah,
Thanks, Sakib. So we have seen this. Now let us talk about the Telegram connector. So Telegram connector is basically a MuleSoft connector that helps us to use Telegram bot API. The Telegram connector allows for a quick MuleSoft-based Telegram chatbot implementation. This connector works with the Telegram Messenger REST API and each API call uses a request response pattern or an HTTPS connection. All required headers, error handling, and HTTPS connection configurations are built into the connector. So it is quite handy to use the Telegram connector because it has all the configurations are built into the connector. So once we start working on the demo, it will be more clearer to you guys. So here are the list of operations that we can perform with our Telegram connectors. Like if you want to get the updates from the group chat, so it will receive all the updates from the chatbot channel conversation, and it will return us an array of update objects. Okay, and we can send text messages, and when we send a message on success scenario, it will send the message, the same message which we have sent, it will be returned. Similarly, we can send any media like photo, video, animation, document, audio, any media. And if we want to edit any message, be it text or any media type, we can do so as well. And we are having a delete method also, by which we can delete a message that is sent over the chat. By passing the message ID, it will delete the message. So now let us see the implementation. Let me quickly go to the Anypoint Studio. Okay, let me create a new project. So we have created a new project. So before starting the implementation of flows, first thing we need to have is the Telegram connector. So we will be adding that module from the exchange. So if we go to the add module section, we don't see that Telegram connector here. So we have to go to this exchange and search for the Telegram. We can see Telegram connector. Let me add it to our project. Okay, so we can see Telegram connector got added here, and the module we can see here. And if you go to the pom.xml, you will be able to see the dependency of the same. So here we can see it, and it is the very first version of Telegram, that is 1.0.0. It hasn't been modified yet, and we can see the list of operations that are available with our connector. So we have around 12 operations that we can perform using this Telegram connector. So we will be seeing each one of them. So let's start with creating a flow now. I'll be taking a listener as a source, and giving I'll be going with the default configuration settings, just changing the port number as 8082. Let us test the connection first. Okay, it is available. The port is available. Now let me add the path here as get updates. Okay, so we are good with the source listener. Now let me add a logger here first. Just a normal logging message. Now let me select this get updates operation from the Mule palette. So we can see we have number of parameters available, and first thing is we need to create the connector configuration. So I'll be clicking on this add button. So we know that internally it is invoking the bot API, and the base URI for that bot API is this one, and it's an HTTPS connection, and the base URI is api.telegram.org, and it is asking us for the secure token which we have got from the bot father. So let me quickly go to the Telegram desktop app and copy the bot API token. So this is the one, I guess. Yeah. So let me copy this one. Let me copy it in the notepad as well. Okay, so now we can test the connection if we are able to connect with this bot. So the test connection is successful. We will be discussing all these parameters that are available here. So first I am going by default configuration settings. Let me just add a transform message here and convert the all payload as JSON. Okay, so we are good with our for the very first flow development. Now let me deploy it. Let me run the project. Meanwhile, let me show you that I've already created a Postman collection to call all of the operations to save our time. So the very first one is get updates operation. So currently I'm not passing any params here. Okay, our application got deployed. Let me check the endpoint name. Let's get updates at 8082. Yeah, that's correct. So let me test the API now. Okay, it is able to access the group chat, but it is not able to get any message here. Why is it so? One behavior of this Telegram bot I would like to share is mostly it starts picking up the messages from uh, whenever you send a request for the very first time, it will not be receiving any messages. But as soon as you start sending some more messages in the group, like let me add some. It should be able to receive the updates now. Now, if we again hit the API, we can see it has started receiving messages. So to explain this update object, let me copy this to the Notepad++, and I'll explaining what are the field params and fields available here in the update object. So the very first one is okay true. That means your request is success. And in the result section, we will be having an array of objects of all the updates. And if we talk about the first update object, so it has a field as update ID, which is a unique for each update. And then we have a field called message, and it has the field called message ID. So the message ID is specific for each message. So the text is how are you, and if you want to edit or delete this message, we need to have this message ID with us. And now there is a field called from, so it will tell us who has sent the message. For every user we have a specific ID, and this field is asking like whether it's a bot or a human. So its value is false, and the name is Arif. And then we have a object called chat, so it has an ID. So for every Telegram group we have a specific or unique chat ID. This one also we will be going to use, because this will tell us to which chat we will be sending the messages or media or anything. And we have details also for the group, like what is the title, whether it's a group or not, and all members are administrators or not. And then we have two more important things here. First one is date. So you can see the date format is of a Unix type. It's a Unix type date format. And we have a text, what text we have received. So it was how are you. And if you go to the other object, in a similar way you have a different update ID for this one, and the message ID here is 5. The same user has sent a message, and we have the same chat ID in the same chat group. The only thing that is different here, the date, what was the text, what was the update ID, and the message ID. Okay, similarly we can receive any message or any update from the chat using the get updates. Okay, so now if we go to this get updates operation here, we can see we have fields like offset and limit, timeout, and allowed updates. So before explaining these params, I would like to show one URL. So if you go to any browser and search for Telegram bot API, you will be able to see uh, the definitions of all the methods or APIs here, which is very important for us. Like we want to perform get updates operation, right? So we can see we have details, lot more details about all the parameters for each operation, because each method or operation is a separate API, and we have details for this uh, here, com.telegram.org. So if we talk about this one, get updates, so it says we can use this method to receive incoming updates. An array of update objects is returned. So the very first offset parameter tells us like from which offset you would like to receive the updates. I'll show you with an example in the studio. And the limit parameter allows us if you want to limit the number of updates. So suppose in our group chat we have hundreds of messages, but we want to receive only the 10 updates. So if we set the value as 10, it will be getting the updates of 10 updates only. And then we have a timeout. So if we want we want to receive the message updates for a specific time interval, and after that we want the operation to give us the timeout, then we can use this. And the allowed updates field uh, can help us to filter out the updates. So for example, if we want to access only the edited channel post, so whatever the post someone edited it, if we want to access only those updates, we can give this parameter value, and it should be a JSON serialized list. It is nothing but an array consisting of the filter value which we want to give. Okay, so let us go back to studio, and this time I'll be sending let me first add some more messages in the group chat. so that it will be good to understanding these params. Let me add some messages here. Okay, so we have added some messages here. Now, if we again go to the postman and request for the messages, we can see the message ID starts from 4 and it has the last message as please, and the message ID of the same is 12. So it is being able to get all the updates. Now we are going to restrict the number of updates by passing these parameters offset and limit. So let me first try to give this limit params, and suppose I want to receive only the 3 updates. So I'll be passing this limit parameters, and in the studio, since I'm receiving it as a query params, so I'll quickly update this limit parameter. From the attributes, I'll be accessing the value of limit params. Let me save the application. So app is getting redeployed. It is redeployed now. Let me hit the API again. Okay, so now we can see we have received some updates, and the message ID starts from 4 and the last message ID is 6. So we are able to receive only 3 updates. So we have limited the updates here. Now let's see the offset parameter. So offset parameter will tell us uh, from which update ID you want to receive the updates. Okay, so let's suppose I give the update ID of this message called amazing. So if we pass this value, what will happen? It is be picking up the updates starting from this update ID, and once it gets the all the updates from this update ID, if we pass again the limit parameter, whatever the number of updates we will be getting, it will again filter it by limiting it to 3. Let me repeat it again. So if we pass this offset parameter, usually the value is the update ID value. Okay, so we have update ID for each message. So if we pass this update ID, it will be picking up all the messages from this update ID. From amazing, it is going to picking up the updates till last. It will pick up all these updates. And now, if we again use the parameter limit, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 messages, right? So it will limit this 7 to 3 only if we pass both the parameters. So let me give the value 3 here, and here also I'll be getting this value from the query params. Let me save the application. Okay, so it has redeployed. Let me make a request again. So we can see we have received the updates starting from amazing. Why we have started receiving from amazing? Because we have asked them to provide all the updates after this update ID, starting from this and all the rest. And Using this limit parameter, we can see we have only 3 updates with us. Okay. I hope this get updates operations is understood to everyone. Now let's move on to the next one, and the next one is send text message. So before using this send text message, uh, let me show you one thing. So this send message method need to have a required parameter called chat ID, because the bot must know to which chat I need to provide the, excuse me. Okay, to which chat I need to send the message. So we should have the parameter called chat ID, and we should also have a parameter called text, means what text we need to give. So what we are doing here, we are getting the updates, and in the updates we can see we have an update ID, message ID, and text and chat ID with us. So we are going to store it somewhere so that we can use this chat ID whenever we want to send any message or media. Okay. So we can do it in multiple ways. We can copy this and use it as a hard-coded value, or we can create a global property and use it in the data weave using the p function. Or what else we can do? We can use an object store here. So I am using an object store here. So we will be storing this chat ID in the object store. So let me create an object store. I'll go with the default settings and let us name it as object store chat ID. If we look at the hierarchy here, we can see inside the result we have message, and inside the message we have chat, and here we have ID. So in order to access this ID, we need to write a data weave logic like payload.result, and we can use any result here because the chat ID is same for every message, right? So if we see here, it's end with 635. If we go down to see another message chat ID, here also 635. So we can get this chat ID from any of the updates object. So let me pick it up from the very first object. So inside the result of 0, I need to go to the message and then chat and then ID. Okay. What is it is going to do? It will get this chat ID value from the updates, and it will store it in a key called object store underscore chat ID. So let me save it and run the uh, let me call the API again. Okay, so this time it must have stored this chat ID. Now let me create a new flow for the send message. I'll be using the same listener configuration, just a new endpoint. Now we will be using the retrieve operation of object store to retrieve the chat ID. So we want to receive, we'll be using the same object store, and I want to access this object store chat ID. And if we go to the advanced tab, we can set the result in a target variable, so it will not overwrite the existing payload. So I will give the name as chat ID. So what I am doing here, I am just retrieving the chat ID from the object store, and whatever the chat ID we will be getting, I have given a target variable chat ID to receive the same. Now we will be preparing the payload which we want to send for the send message operation, send text operation. So we have seen we required only two things here, which is mandatory. We can have all the other optional parameters as well, but for the sake of simplicity, I am using only the text and chat ID. Okay, so it should be a JSON. Let me first show you the request here. Send text message. So the endpoint is send text. Let me update it. Send message. And this is the message that we are passing. It is called new text message, and we are passing it as a JSON body. Okay. Now what I'll do here is, whatever the payload I am receiving, I'll just add a chat ID here. Chat ID, and we are taking it from the variable called chat ID. So what it will do is, it will simply add an object in the coming payload object. What is the coming payload object? It's the message with the text value that we want to send. Let me save it, and now let me copy, drag the send text message operation. So whatever the payload we built from this transform message, we are going to send the same here. And let me show you the advanced section here. So if we want to send some custom query params or custom headers, we can add the same here in these sections. But for now, let's keep it simple. So what our flow is doing, it is simply hitting our endpoint, and then we are retrieving the chat ID from the object store, and whatever the coming payload we are receiving from the postman, I am adding the chat ID, and the total payload we will be sending as the body payload for this send text message operation. Now let me see. We can see our application got redeployed. Let me go back to the postman and hit the request. Okay, so something went wrong here. Let us now check. Okay, wars.chat ID. The target variable is chat ID, object score underscore chat ID. Let me try it with the hard coded value first. So the chat ID value is this. Let me try to pass it the hard coded value. We are passing the, oh sorry, that was the issue actually. We need to have a field called text, and what we are passing was message. So that is the reason it got failed. We can replicate it, save it. Okay, let me try again. Okay, done. So we have received a new message, and let's go back to the Telegram and see our bot has sent a message called new text message. So we are good with the send message. Now let's see how we can edit our message. We can see the message ID which we have sent is 14. So if we want to edit a text message, we need to pass the new text message as well as the message ID. So our message ID was 14. So let me update this message. I'll be passing the same message ID here. With the new text called my message got updated. Currently the message is new text message. Now let me go back to studio. Mm, okay. Let me do it here only for the same endpoint, or let me create another one. So we need to have an endpoint called edit text. I'll be copy these two and place it here. Okay, so we are doing the same thing. We are retrieving the chat ID value from object store, and whatever the payload coming from the request, and just simply adding the chat ID. Now if we let me drag and drop the edit text message operation. Let's save it. So it's very simple. The only thing which is important here is we need to pass the message ID. If we compare with the send text message, the only new thing we have is we need to pass the message ID which we want to update. Okay, let's save the application. I think it has redeployed now. Let me send the request. Okay, so the result came as true. That means it's a success. If we go back to the Telegram, we can see the message as my message got updated. So we are good with the edit text message operation as well. Now let us see how we can delete the message. So let me again take a listener here. So to delete a message, what we need to have is we just need to pass the message ID which we want to delete. So the message ID was 14, which we have just created. Let me delete this one. And we need to have an endpoint called delete message. Let's save it. Copy this two again. Okay, so we are doing the same thing here again. Now let me pick up this delete message operation. So it has redeployed. Let me send a request. So it is saying okay, true, result true. That means our message must have been deleted. Yeah, we can see it has got deleted from here. So we are good with the delete message operation as well. Now we will see how we can send a media like photo, video, text, and all. So let me copy a listener again. First, we will see how we can send a photo. We should have this endpoint. Let me copy these two again. So one thing you need to keep in mind here that is very important that we should have a photo parameter here if you want to send a photo. And what we can pass here, we can either pass a HTTP download URL or we can pass a file ID. So file ID is nothing but an already uploaded media to the Telegram server. So I will repeat myself. So let's suppose if you have sent a photo to the Telegram group, so the whatever the response we will be getting, it will be including a unique file ID for that file. So we can either pass this file ID or we can pass the download URL of that file. So I have already downloaded some. Uh, I'm having the URL for some download URL of all media type, like for sample PDF, sample photo, sample video. So to save our time and to keep it handy, I'm having this much. And let me just explain you how you can get the download URL for any media. So for example, if you go to any free website who can provide you any media, like this is the audio uh, download website for where you can download an audio. So if you see the download button, if you do the right click here, you can see an option called copy link address. So it's the same URL I'm talking about. If you go to any animation GIF site, you can see called copy GIF link. So like that, I'm having some URL, download URL for all of the media types. So let me take this one for the demonstration purpose. So in place of this file ID, I'll first give the HTTP download URL, and uh, and I've also added an optional parameter called caption, like photo from HTTP URL. So currently we don't see any photo here, and let me drag and drop the send photo message connector operation and save it. Let me send the request. Okay, it is redeployed. Yeah, we can see we have received a photo, and that too from HTTP URL. Now we can do the same from file ID. So suppose we have our bot that is common in multiple groups, in multiple Telegram groups. And if you don't want to upload the same file again and again, especially when the file size is quite large, so what we can do is you can get the file ID of that file and pass the same in the photo parameter or video parameter. So it will do the same. It will resend the same file which is there in the Telegram server. Now let me show it to you. So I have copied the file ID which I have just sent, and now I'm changing the caption as photo from file ID. Let me request again. So we can say we have received a photo, but now the caption is photo from file ID. Okay. So we can do the same thing with any of the media type like video, document, audio, animation, anyone. So I hope we are good with the send photo operation as well. Now let
So
me.
we have one question, Faizan, from
Oh,
Gundeep.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So he is asking if we don't have the message ID with us, can we set any other value to offset? Let's say just the latest three messages. No, no. One thing you got it wrong here, Gundeep, that we are not passing the message ID as the offset value. Rather, we are passing the update ID. So, if you want to update your question, you can.
So can we instead of limit when we pass limit Faizan, so we are getting the first three. So
Right.
can we pass something to get the last three messages like in
Yeah, yeah,
decreasing order? So that is the
yeah.
question of Gundeep.
Oh, I got it. So what we can do is in your Mule application, you can get all the updates, and you can give the indexing starting from minus, like -1 to -3 will give you the last three updates. Like that, we can write the logic in our Mule application. I hope you got the answer.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to the studio. We are done with the send photo.
So we have one more question from
Oh,
Mini.
sure. If we want to send photo from our desktop itself, how to send photo URL in that case? Oh, so one thing I would like to mention here that if you want to send your photo or any media type that is available in your own machine, so what you can do here is you have to pass it as a multi-part form data. Let me show you. So let's suppose uh, I want to pass one photo that is available in our own desktop. So what we can do here is we can go to the section called form data, and here we need to select an option called file, and we can pass the same params of media. Like if it is a photo, we need to provide photo, and we can select file that is available locally in our computer. For example, I select this one. Okay, so what it will do, it will send the media that you want to send as a multi-part data, and then you can send it. But don't you think that it will be much easier if you directly upload it from here? It will be more beneficial if the files are located in some on some server or anywhere else. So that's how we can pass the file that is locally available. Any more question?
No, no, Faizan.
Okay, let me go back to the studio. We are done with the send photo. Allow now let's one thing I wanted to do here is we can even edit the caption of the media message. So we can see we have a message here in the group chat, photo from file ID. So what if we want to edit the caption of any media? So to edit any caption of the media, we need to pass two things here. First one is the message ID, and second one is the caption, the updated caption. Okay, so we have sent a photo whose message ID was 16. So now let me update the caption of the same message. Okay, I'll be dragging a listener again, and the path is edit media caption. Let me copy these two again. Okay, edit caption of media message. Let me save the application. Okay, so the current caption is photo from file ID. So it's a success. Let's see. Yeah, my updated caption. So that's how we can edit the caption of any media type. Now let us send an audio message. So to send an audio, we should have a parameter called audio. And the same thing here. Either we should have a HTTP URL or we should have a file ID. So I have some sample audio file available with me. So let me send it. So the application is getting the reply. Yeah, let me send the request. Okay, so we have received an audio in the group chat with the caption. Now let us see how we can edit the media message. So we can even replace the media which we have sent for the group chat. So for this thing, you need to take care of one thing. The one thing which is common is message ID. So we want to update which message. So we need to provide the message ID. The second thing has is it should have a params called media, and it should again it should have a JSON serialized object. So a JSON serialized object should have two fields. One is the type of media, and here in our case it is an audio, and the new media which you want to update. So earlier when we have sent an audio, it was this one. Now we will be updating it with another audio that is called evolution. Okay, and even you can update the caption. So whenever you want to update any media type file, you should have a JSON serialized object which is and the field should have type media, and the caption is optional. Okay, the required fields are type and media. So let me quickly create a flow for the same. Edit media. So let me just confirm this thing in the bot API documentation, that what fields we should have. So edit message media. So it should have a field called params called media, and we can give the optional parameter chat ID, message ID. So we are passing all these three. The message ID and media we are receiving from the postman body, and the chat ID we are getting from the object store. So we are good with this. Let me hit the request. Okay, so something went wrong here. Yeah, the issue was we have sent an audio whose message ID was 17, and we have made the request for message ID 26, which is not even available. Let me try it again. Okay, so it has updated the audio file. Now it is evolution. Earlier it was something else. So we are good with this one also. Now what is left? Send a document message, send media group, send video, and send animation. Let me quickly explain all this.
Have the same
Yes,
format,
yes,
right, Faisal?
yes,
So
yes.
we can, yeah, we can skip
Yeah, we
and
can
move
skip
to,
it. The
yeah, we
only
can.
one thing is little different. I want to explain this one. Send media group. So let me explain this one. So we can see here the body which we are sending. So media group is like a album for any media type. So if you are sending a set of photo, audio, or any media type, you need to pass an array of objects. An object consisting of two required parameters. One is type and media. So here we are sending an album of audio which consists of two audio. So one thing that you need to know that you cannot send media of multiple type as an album. You need to send the same type of media for an album. Okay. So let me quickly check one thing. Send media group. So we should have this media and chat ID. And let me update this one. What we are passing here, media group. It should do the job. Let's see. Okay, we have received an album of two audio files here. So we are done with all the basic operations. All other operations uh, we can do using the same way to send any document or animation or any video. So if anyone has any question with related to this basic operations, he or she can ask me in the chat, or else we will go with our next topic, that is Telegram chatbot implementation. So I've already created a Telegram chatbot. I'll just explain it. So are we good, or we have any question?
No, no, Faizan.
Okay. Okay, let's continue. So I'll just explain how I have implemented this Telegram chatbot. So as a source, we have a scheduler which will poll our group chat every 4 seconds, and then it will be receiving the updates from the chat group. And in the same way, I am storing the chat ID of the group chat, and whatever the updates I am getting from the group chat, we are logging it, the whole payload, and out of that payload I am picking up the last or latest message from the group chat. So what this data we will do, it will pick up the text part of the message, means whatever the message we have received last time, it will save this to a variable called text. And in the same way I am picking up the date value from the last message. Okay. So what this Telegram chatbot will do is it will do the auto reply to whatever message being sent over the chat. So if number of user wants to uh, ask something over the chat, and if the business group owner is not available, he can give this task to the chatbot, and it will give all the replies which are very common to us. So it depends on the business need what kind of question will be relevant to that Telegram group. We can set it. So first let me explain this. I'll come to that topic. So we will be saving the last text message received and the time at which the message received. Okay, and then I have given a choice condition here, like we are restricting the chatbot to reply to only those messages which was sent uh, under the last 5 seconds. Okay, so the current time, it will match with the time of the message when we have received, and I'm converting it the Unix based date time into the date time format, and here I am getting the difference of the two in seconds, and if it is less than 5, I'll be the bot will reply to that message. If it is older than 5 seconds, it is not going to do anything. It will simply log a message called not a new message. So it will give a basic transform message, transform, like what was the message, and it will call the send message flow. So in the send message flow, what we are doing, first we are retrieving the chat ID from the object store, and then let me show you one interesting thing. So I am having a set of question and answer chit chat, and you can see it has all around 10,000 set of question and answer. So if someone asks question like hi, how are you, and the very basic questions, who are you, what do you do, so it will reply to all those um, questions. Okay, and I have modified this question answer setup. So currently we can see it's a tab separated value file, and it has having columns called source and metadata. So I have removed these two columns as it is not required for our implementation, and I have converted this tab separated value file into CSV, comma separated file, and I have placed it here under SRC main resources. So you can see this file here, and I have even updated some answer for some specific questions like who created you. So you can see I have modified the answer, and the answer is Faizan created me. He is a MuleSoft developer. So like that, we have around 10,000 set of questions and answer. So our what our chatbot will do is it is going to pick up the message and it will try to match the the message which has sent over the group. If it is a match, it will do an auto reply to that question or message. So first, what I am doing here, I am reading that chitchat.csv file and converting it into a JSON format. Next, what I am doing, I am trying to match the question or message from the data set that we have. So let me explain this one. So first, I am creating an intermediate variable called find result. So what it is doing, first it is getting all the question values in an array format, and I am mapping it to uh, convert the case of its whether it's a capital or a small letter. First it will change the it to lowercase, and whatever the message we are getting, I'm even converting that also to the lowercase, and then I'm using a find function. So find function, what it will do, it will try to match if the sent message is available in our dictionary or not. So if there is a match, it will gives us the index of that question. Okay, so the find result will get the index of that question in our dictionary, and then I am giving a condition here. If the size of find result is greater than 0, means if there is a match, if there is any match, we are going to pick up the same answer from that index of question. Okay, so let's suppose mm, we have a match for this question. So here you can see the very first letter is capital, and the user might ask it in a lower case the same question. That is the reason I was using the lower function uh, to uh, to test the match, and this is the answer. So whenever we have a match, it will send us the respective answer, and I am storing it in a variable called result. And if there is a no match for any question, it is setting the result as sorry, I couldn't understand you. I am still learning and trying to get better in answering. So that's uh, now the very common thing we are doing here. We are setting the chat ID and whatever the result we are getting from the text. Now the send text message will send the same message. So now let me quickly create a new uh, bot. Let me go to the bot further. A request for a new bot. Okay, so we are good with a new bot, and let me copy this token and update it here. There's the connection. Okay, we are good. Now what I'll do, I'll immediately create a new group. and let me add the same bot here. And now we can see it has access to messages. Okay, let me add some message here. And now let me run our chatbot application. Okay, now we can see it is an it is up and running, and it has even started to receiving messages. But let me add some more message to the group. Okay, so it has started replying. So it we have received an answer. That's not me, but hello. Now let's try other questions. Okay. Okay, so we are getting response as per the dictionary. So we can anytime update our dictionary as per the business use case of our group. So suppose we have a business group related to music, so we can add questions related to the same, and it will reply to those relevant questions. Okay, so we are good with the chatbot implementation, and now I am open to questions. So if anyone has any question, he or she can ask me in the chat.
So we have one question from Mini.
Okay. So one thing, yeah, not be exact match, as we are using the lower function for both the dictionary question as well as the message that we have received in the chat. So if it is it can match even the case insensitive messages. Yeah, we should have a exact match. A- And one more thing that we can improve the intelligence of our bot by adding some more complex logics uh, it should reply with some GIF or links or anything. Yeah, anything is possible. We can try out anything. So Shubham was asking like is fuzzy match possible to implement? Yeah, we can try that out as well.